Tonight, 4 children are dead in Lake Ozark after a fire at their home with no smoke detector.
The judge rejects the governor's request to toss out his indictment.
Plus, a potential hazmat scare against a Missouri state senator. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
4 children are dead as investigators look for the cause of a deadly house fire at the Lake of the Ozarks this morning.
The investigation is just underway, but the Lake Ozark fire chief says they may never know the cause. KOMU 8's Caroline Peterson is live at the home with more details. Caroline.
Jim, Emily, when I got here this afternoon, the house was still smoking. And in fact, just 20 minutes ago or so, firefighters left. They were back here to check up on the house. And there were 4 brothers that did pass away in the fire. They were ages 14, 8, 5, and 4. They were home alone, according to neighbors. The parents got back just in time to see the house fully engulfed while firefighters tried to put it out and rushed to get the kids to safety. Multiple units responded to the home around 1 this morning. The heat of the fire was so strong, firefighters could not get in right away. Strong gusty winds could have played a role in how quickly the fire intensified. One neighbor says he ran outside to try and help. He was able to get the other neighbors out of their home. He says he was not close with the family, but remembers seeing the kids come back from school.
Right at 7 o'clock, the bus was here to pick them up, and I'm going to miss that.
The correct cause of the fire is still under investigation. The department is waiting on autopsy reports. The state's fire marshal's main message to everyone was to always check your smoke alarms. Reporting in Lake of the Ozarks, Caroline Peterson, KOMU 8 News.
It was another important step in the Greitens investigation today. A St. Louis judge refused to dismiss the criminal case against Governor Eric Greitens. However, the judge is disappointed in the prosecutors. We have team coverage across the state today covering this story. KOMU 8's Ali Valenta is in St. Louis to break down the decision, and Daytona Everett is in Jefferson City with the reaction. We'll begin in St. Louis.
I'm live in St. Louis outside of the courthouse where just this morning Judge Rex Burleson decided to not to drop the charges against Governor Greitens. The decision comes after Greitens' defense team asked the judge to dismiss his case because they feel the investigation hasn't been handled correctly. The judge sanctioned prosecutors for not turning over evidence quickly enough. He said there has clearly been violations by the state, but even so, the investigation will continue. The judge also said he wants this to be an open and fair case decided by a jury. No attorneys were able to speak with me today because of a gag order, but we will continue to update you on the Greitens investigation. For more information on the sanctions, you can visit our website at KOMU.com. Daytona Everett spoke with state lawmakers in Jefferson City today to get their reactions. Daytona?
The consensus from members in both parties has been that this looming trial has been a huge distraction. Some lawmakers told me they need to make a decision about Greitens soon, or else it could have big implications for legislation that needs to pass before the session's out.
Yeah, we're still working.
After a judge refused to dismiss the governor's trial in St. Louis and only a few weeks looming in the session, is doing work at the Capitol even possible?
At best, it's a distraction and something that really, I think, is hurting our ability to pass good quality legislation for the people of Missouri.
Legislation like a budget, which is a constitutional obligation and one that ultimately falls on the governor's shoulders.
One way or another, though, it's time for the governor to resign, let Missouri move forward, and if he won't resign, the House is going to have to act.
It's ultimately the Speaker's call and you know, the will of that caucus.
Both Rowden and Razor agree Republicans are split in the House despite the court decision. The indecisiveness is causing a standstill for any moves toward impeachment.
There's going to be backlash back at home if you vote to remove someone who people support.
Republicans like Rowden acknowledge that Greitens remaining in office does make things difficult for lawmakers.
There's certainly things that big-ticket items, I think, that require executive leadership on. That I think are probably just not kind of off the table until this is resolved.
It seems like an easy vote.
If Greitens is found guilty of a felony at his court date in May, Razor told me that he would be surprised if they don't immediately impeach him. Reporting live from the Capitol, Daytona Everett, KOMU 8 News.
Daytona, thank you very much. It was a scary day at the state capitol today as well. A senator from St. Louis County received an envelope full of what she says is a cancer-causing pesticide. KOMU 8's Olivia Gerling is live at the Capitol with the latest information. Olivia?
Go. I attended a press conference in the Capitol building today, and I learned that earlier today, Senator Maria Chappelle-Nadal received an envelope with something leaking out of it. At the time, they weren't really sure what it was. However, the envelope was a cancer-causing pesticide. She tweeted that out not quite an hour ago. The Cole County hazmat team was called in earlier. Luckily, no one was hurt by the substance. That's a really good thing, because not only was Maria Chappelle-Nadal here today, there were also a bunch of kids. So definitely a good thing no one was injured. Maria Chappelle-Nadal was moved to a different office in the building. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Olivia Gerling, KOMU 8 News.
The woman who was selling drugs out of her house where a Clinton, Missouri police officer was shot and killed faces first-degree murder charges. Tammy Widger was originally charged with second-degree murder, but the charges have been upgraded. She could face life in prison for the murder of Officer Ryan Morton. Widger didn't pull the trigger, but state law allows prosecutors to charge anyone who commits a crime at a murder scene. A maintenance worker is dead after a television station tower collapsed today, trapping him underneath in southwest Missouri. Rescue crews say the nearly 2,000-foot tower of KOZK Public TV collapsed when workers were replacing beams. The name of the dead worker is not known. 5 other workers were injured. The cause of the collapse is not known. Missouri State University owns the station and the tower.
Well, it's nice to see the sunshine out there today, but don't let it fool you. Tim says there may be some frost on the way. Let's send it over to him for a latest check at his forecast. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, unfortunately, winter just isn't giving up quite yet. Now, this is probably our last bout of freeze or frost advisories here in the state for tonight, but here we go. And we have another round of this for tonight through tomorrow morning until about 9 o'clock. Look at where some of these temperatures could be at by the morning, too. Anywhere from about 30 to 35 degrees in the state. So much colder tomorrow morning than it was this morning. Here's a look at those currents right now. It's 56 in Columbia, 57 in Jefferson City. Still a couple of areas out west trying to get close to that 60-degree mark. Lots of high pressure, lots of sunshine here over the Midwest. Hey, maybe some rain for this weekend, though. We'll watch that system out to the west. Until then, let's just enjoy some of the comfortable weather that we have. Your evening forecast looks like this: 53 at 7, 48 at 9, still 44 at the 11 o'clock hour. Coming up, we'll have a look at Friday's forecast and that weekend forecast. It's coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Tim, thanks. Coming up, we tag along with Columbia firefighters to see how they train, but that's only the beginning of this story.